So, for the enthusiastic photographer who wants to upgrade into a large full-frame camera, here are the 4 best full-frame DSLRs on the market. Getting things started at number 4 is the Nikon D810. In the world of professional photographers, each has their individual preferences and have some genuine reasons for being so. If you are among those who need photographs that have an insane number of pixels, then the Nikon D810 is what you need. Nikon has been at the top of the tree with Canon when it comes to professional high-quality DSLRs for years. In 2012, they announced the 800 series with a staggering 36 megapixel sensor and a host of other image quality related enhancements. The consolidation came 2 years after that in the form of the D810. Yes, we get it. Why are you talking about a 3-year-old product now? Because it is still one of the finest DSLRs around. The 3 years have done very little to diminish its charm. The Nikon D810 is a full-frame digital SLR that features 36.3 megapixel FX format CMOS sensor without an optical low-pass filter, along with Nikon's latest X-Speed 4-image processing engine. The D810 inherits the same 91,000 pixel RGB metering sensor used in the D800/E and D4s. This is definitely a pro-grade feature and a step up from the 2016 pixel RGB metering sensors in the D610 and D7100. The high-resolution RGB sensor allows for advanced scene analysis. This increases metering accuracy, and it's really what drives the camera's new highlight-weighted metering mode, where highlights are detected and retained by appropriately adjusting exposure. It also has Group Area AF, which was introduced in the flagship D4S. In this mode, the camera focuses using a group of 5 focus points, the center ones not shown when the Group Area AF focus points are illuminated, selected by the user. Equal priority is given to all 5 points, with the camera focusing on the nearest detected subject. The Nikon D810 features the company's multi-cam 3500 FX Phase Detect AF module, a 51-point unit with 15 central cross-type sensors, 11 of which will continue to operate when the effective maximum aperture of a lens is just f8. The Nikon D810 is really all about dynamic range and high signal-noise ratio at ISO 64. It offers medium format-like raw image quality with respect to noise at its base ISO because of the extra light it can tolerate before clipping the same tones a comparable camera might clip at ISO 100. JPEG colors continue to be pleasing with warm yellows and greens that tend to enhance great landscapes and low-light imagery. The D810's mirror and shutter mechanisms are pretty well damped, but do slightly soften images at 1/125s and below, recovering somewhere around 1/4s. Of course, you'll have hand-induced shake before this recovery. The D810 is a solid, quiet consolidation of the basic concept and a better product overall than either of the 2 models it replaces. At number 3, we have the Canon EOS-1D X Mark II. After the megapixel junkie, there will be people who want the absolute fastest piece of kit out there. For those people, we have the EOS-1D X Mark II. With this one, we are entering the highest echelons of DSLRs, as this is a flagship offering from Canon. It is characterized by its robust processing capabilities and its ability to enable a high-end multimedia workflow. At the heart of the imaging system is a full-frame 20.2 megapixel CMOS sensor and dual DIGIC 6+ image processors. The sensor and processor combination also avails DCI 4K video recording at 60 frames per second and full HD 1080p recording at 120 frames per second, along with the ability to record onboard to a CFast 2.0 memory card, or uncompressed full HD video can be saved via HDMI to an optional external recorder. A redeveloped full-frame 20.2 megapixel CMOS sensor pairs with dual DIGIC 6 Plus image processors to avail notable image quality and accuracy, as well as fast performance throughout the camera system. The sensor itself integrates a gapless structure with micro lenses to provide enhanced low-light performance and reduced noise levels. The sensor and processors also work together to avail the renowned quick shooting performance, with continuous rates up to a blazing 16 frames per second when working in live view. When working with the viewfinder, shooting up to 14 frames per second is possible, along with the ability to record up to 170 RAW files in a single burst if using a CFast 2.0 memory card. If shooting JPEG files, an unlimited number of frames can be recorded in a burst, even at full resolution. It has a 61-point high-density reticular AF2 system, which incorporates 41 cross-type points for increased precision, as well as a center point that is sensitive to -3 EV. All 61 phase detection points support metering at effective apertures of f/8 or larger, which benefits the use of teleconverters and telephoto lenses. A large 3.2-inch 1.62 m Clearview 2 LCD monitor is available and features an anti-reflective design for bright, vivid image playback and live view shooting, and its touchscreen interface can be used for intuitive touch-to-focus control. Designed for both professional stills shooting and video recording, the 1DX Mark II supports DCI 4K 4096 by 2160 resolution recording at up to 60 frames per second at 800 megabits per second, along with full HD 1080p shooting at 120 frames per second at 360 megabits per second for slow motion playback. When recording in camera, 4K video has 4:2:2 sampling and 8-bit color depth, while full HD 1080p footage has 4:2:0 sampling. Uncompressed full HD 1080p video can also be saved via HDMI to an optional external recorder with 4:2:2 color sampling. Whether it is for blazing fast still photography or for professional quality video recording with DCI 4K and CF 2.0 card support, the 1DX Mark II is an absolute stunner of a DSLR. Find additional info and pricing from the video description below. At number 2, our runner-up is the Nikon D5. While Canon was perfecting their DSLRs, Nikon only had a refreshed D4, titled as the D4S, in the market. But only last year did we get to know what they were doing behind the curtains. What they were doing was designing an all-new sensor and processor, and then packing it into the amazingly sturdy and indestructible body of the D4. Welcome, the Nikon D5. As said, this is not a mild refresh, but a radical overhaul of the D4. The Nikon D5 is the company's flagship action-oriented DSLR, sporting a 20.8 megapixel full-frame sensor, 153-point autofocus system, and a full-size double-grip chassis that is both tough as nails and exceedingly comfortable to use. Though the core build of the camera remains very similar to the D4S, the sensor and autofocus systems are entirely new and, as expected, are designed with speed and reliability in mind. There's no denying that the Nikon D5 is one beefy camera. Without a lens, it weighs 1,405 grams or just over 3 pounds. But there's a good reason for that. The D5 is built to take a knock, a drop, or a flying rock kicked up from a dirt bike. It might even take a bullet. The D5's battery is CIPA rated to 3,780 shots, which not only promises an absurd amount of shooting between charges, but is also a sign of increased efficiencies within the camera. A welcome change is the D5's switch to USB 3.0 compared to the USB 2.0 on the D4S. This is handy if you shoot the XQD version of the D5 and forget your card reader somewhere. The D5 exists to serve the needs of professional photographers that need the ultimate in performance. Because of its bulk, the D5 has room for a large battery and robust shutter mechanism, both of which are big contributors to just how quickly this camera operates. The D5 will shoot continuously at 12 frames per second with minimal viewfinder blackout, or 14 frames per second with the mirror locked up. And it will do so for quite some time with decent XQD cards. Nikon's claims of better ISO performance due to color filter array optimizations appear to have merit. Noise levels in RAW mode are slightly lower in comparison to the D4S. In a word, great. Not necessarily because of drastically decreased noise levels, but more because of how the D5 handles color retention and accuracy in situations where your eyes are having trouble seeing color at all. If you find yourself photographing in available darkness with any regularity, the D5 will revolutionize the way you shoot and reward you with usable images despite astronomical ISO values. In terms of AF, the increased coverage area is part of what makes the upgrade a big deal. After all, it's the same AF system found in the company's flagship sports camera. The D5 represents a benchmark against which to compare more practical purchases. But what a benchmark it sets. Use one and you'll be rewarded with as close to a polished, pure, and responsive photographic tool as you can get. Additional info that we missed in the video and pricing information can be found in the video description below. At number 1, top of the list, is the Canon EOS 5D Mark IV. Canon's 5D series of cameras has a rich heritage. The original EOS 5D brought full-frame photography to the masses. The Mark II unleashed full HD video capture for the first time on a DSLR, and while the Mark III didn't have quite the landmark features of its predecessors, its improved AF system made it one of the most complete DSLRs of recent times, loved by enthusiasts and pros alike. Taking that line forward is the 5D Mark IV, with substantial upgrades under the hood, including a higher resolution sensor with dual pixel autofocus, 4K video capture, an upgraded AF system, a touchscreen, improved weather sealing, built-in Wi-Fi/NFC, an interval timer, and GPS. It is built around a new 30.4 megapixel CMOS sensor and uses the Digic 6 Plus processor. The AF system is from the flagship 1DX Mark II and contains 61 AF points with up to 24% expanded vertical coverage compared with the system in the Mark III. 4K video capture is also a welcome addition to this camera, and users can record in either 24 or 30p, albeit with a 1.64 times crop. All footage is captured as motion JPEG. Additionally, the camera allows for 4K frame grabs, effectively giving users 30 frame per second stills shooting with dual pixel AF. The 5D Mark IV is also using the same latest generation sensor technology that we've seen in both the 1DX Mark II and the 80D, with on-chip digital to analog conversion, which should deliver improved noise performance as well as broader dynamic range. That's not the whole story as far as image quality goes, though, with the arrival of dual pixel RAW technology giving photographers the capacity to fine-tune the area of maximum sharpness. The native sensitivity runs from ISO 100 to 32,000 and is expandable to 50 to 102,400, which is actually identical to the 5D Mark III's. The 5D Mark IV gets Canon's 252-zone RGB plus IR metering system with intelligent scene analysis, and it's all the better for it compared to the older IFCL system found in the 5D Mark III. As you'd expect from a full-frame DSLR, the 5D Mark IV features a large and bright viewfinder with 100% coverage. With the same LP-E6N battery as the 5D Mark III, it's good for around 900 shots on a single charge. This is a camera that will stand up to years of abuse and churn out images with appreciably better quality and at a faster rate than its predecessor. The touchscreen and dual pixel AF offers users more shooting options, and the built-in Wi-Fi and NFC will be an important addition to those working in the field. With the EOS 5D Mark IV, Canon has further refined its semi-professional full-frame all-rounder. With a solid build and improved weather sealing, faster burst speed, increased resolution, increased dynamic range, updated autofocus system, and dual-pixel live view functionality, the Mark IV will be as much camera as many people need. Be sure to check out the video description for anything that we may have missed in the video. So there you have it. These are the best DSLRs to buy if you want to take your photography to the ultimate level. If you agree with our list, then please go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to our channel to help us make more videos in the future. Hit the bell icon to get instant notifications and use the comment section to let us know about your opinions.